Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I picked 5 stocks and I put $20 into each of those for a total of $100. We'll see what those are in just a second. We'll go to the activity log. But first, we'll take a look at this portfolio. This is the Average Joe Dividends portfolio. You can see right now it's at a balance of $247,000. This is live, so this will be changing, but we can see over the last year we've gone up 17% with this. And if you're curious to see what's in the portfolio, I have 3 different slices and I have 53 different positions, and I'll leave a link below so you can see what's within each of those slices. And we can see for the 1 year performance up 17%. So generally it's gone up and to the right. We've had a couple blips in the last year. It looks like late October we went down. We were below $200,000, and then in the third week of April down to about $230,000. But you can see though it's been recovering ever since. And then we'll zoom in a little bit to last month. We'll see we're pretty flat, up 0.75%. We'll see what today brought, just a little bit lower today. But overall, this portfolio has done quite well. It has a good mixture, at least in my opinion, of growth stocks. I have Nvidia, things like Qualcomm in here, Costco, Apple, Microsoft, and they all pay a dividend. Of course, my fast growers don't pay the large dividend, but I also have a mixture of other stocks in here. I'll go with the holdings tab here real quick and I'll kind of show you. But most of it is SCHD, which has 104 different positions in it. But you can see other things in here that pay a higher dividend, like Verizon, BST. These are covered calls, though it's not really an investment in those companies per se. And things like Realty, I've got monthly payers, things like that. Household names in here like McDonald's. So a good mix of companies with growth potential as well as income today. So we'll jump into the activity log and we'll see what I chose. And there's 6 buys in here. 5 of them are for the $20 a piece, but there was a dividend reinvestment with Qualcomm, so that's $6.93. I decided to just drip that right back into Qualcomm, and that's the $106.93 right there. So go ahead and click on the activity of this, and we'll see the 5 different companies I decided to invest in and add to my current positions. None of these are new positions. So first up, Cisco, and then Illinois Toolworks, and then Qualcomm. That is that dividend drip. And then next up, JP Morgan, then Starbucks, and then Oracle, each for $20. And what we're going to do next is we're going to look at my Google Docs spreadsheet, and I'm going to walk you through that really quick, and then we're going to see what those 6 buys did to my dividend income, and we'll cap it off with kind of a walkthrough of my total net worth and see where that's at right now. And so here's the Google Docs spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below so you can take a look at this. If you have a lot of M1 positions, you're welcome to use it. You can copy it over and then put in your own stocks. Some things you'll have to put in your own information, like your own stocks. If chances are you don't have exactly what I have, so you'll have to adjust it. And you can see I have it color coded by the month of the quarter. We're in the last month of the quarter, so we're in the dark greens. You can see the light greens will start in July, where we start Q3. But you can see where we are at right now. We are we're about 3/4 of the way through June right now. We can see there's the Qualcomm dividend, and we're going to see the result of that. The $6.93 is going to be dripped into it, so it's going to add a few more cents to the Qualcomm for its next dividend. It's not going to be $6.93 next time. So those drips do make a difference. You can see here what those have done. You can see like Black Hills, Aflac, where the dividend paid, and then the drip. And looks like, I'm sure for Aflac I put another $20 into there, and that helped kick up the next dividend amount. Also, when there's dividend raises, that also kicks up the dividend as well. but you can see here all my positions are in here. You can see the current share price, the average share price that I've bought at, the number of shares, the market value. We can see there's a big disconnect with Nvidia in here. Also, Qualcomm has done quite well, Microsoft, things like that. You can see my cost basis, my market value, but you can see others though where it doesn't quite look as good with, like, say, a Starbucks. You can see they just announced their new dividend. It's going to be paid at the end of August. But you can see here what my share price is, or the current share price is, and what my average share price is. And not doing so hot, but I think long term though, I think that they'll turn around. But we'll see. It could take a while because a lot of the fast food places are struggling right now because people have less money. You can see Nvidia, where here's my average share price and here's the current share price. And of course, they just had a 10-to-1 stock split, so my prior average share price is $138, but it just moved the decimal point. Essentially, I had 4 shares and it turned into 40. But you can see here how that gain has worked out for me. But you can see there's a couple where I don't have a I don't have a gain, actually have a loss. Looks like there's 2 so far with Starbucks and Avista, but I believe in them both long term, so I'm going to hang on to them. But you can see here also, here's the quarterly dividend per share, with the exception of the monthly pairs, which are O and BST. Here's their yield percentage. I think anything over 5%, I have the rule where it's going to show it in green, and anything above 10% will show a gain or loss in green here as well. I have another rule also for the next dividend. Anything over $10 will show up in green. So once I get like Home Depot above that $10 threshold, it'll also be in green. Of course, everything is sorted by the pay date, because I want to see when I'm going to get paid, and how much I'm going to get paid and when. So that's important to me. So you can see all my June pairs, and of course these will be paying me again in September. It just keeps recycling over and over, and I'll get new dividend dates for these companies here that just paid in May. They're going to be all in August. So it keeps going on and on, where it's just a steady stream of income that doesn't stop. We can see here the total dividends. You can see positions like BST has paid me nearly $7,000. And SCHD, I just want to make a correction from my last video. I was a week off. It looks like they're going to be paying their dividend on July 1st. You can see I've received almost $4,500 in dividends from SCHD alone, and I adjusted that date down there when they're going to declare. I think the 25th of June, and here's my prediction, 68 cents. We'll see what it pays. I'm pretty sure it's going to be about 68 cents. Nothing much more than that. Could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more, but we'll see. So you can see also the last increase of each of these. I know a lot of times when we buy dividend paying stocks, we look at just what it's paying today. You should also keep in mind that most of these, at least in my portfolio, increase their dividends year over year. You can see like Microsoft, they're pretty steady for that double digit increase. So they may have a low dividend today, but with 10% year over year, if that keeps up, it's going to be a lot better yield on cost for you if you hang on to it. So it looks like September is when Microsoft is slated to announce their dividend increase. And the more recent one is General Mills. Looks like I'm looking for a dividend increase there. We'll see if they can do that 9%. I don't think they will. I think it's going to be more like a 3 or 4%, because you can see the stock price has been struggling lately. So we'll see what they can do. Another is Kroger. Of course, they're grocery stores. We'll see if they can do that 12%. I doubt it. We'll see if they can do about 5% or so. I think those are the only ones outstanding in June for me. But every month I have more and more dividend increases. And Caterpillar was the last one, I think, announced 8% in June, so they increased their dividend. And last time Caterpillar paid me was $7.05, and I'll be getting $7.67 if I don't buy any more fractional shares. So we can see that. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here a little bit further. You can see here's the market value of the portfolio. My cost basis, gain or loss, I'm over 50 grand in gains from this. You can see the current average yield of the portfolio and my yield on cost as well. Here's what the portfolio pays every quarter. You can see it's broken down by monthly, quarterly, and annually, almost to that $11,000 mark. I have a few nice links here where I can look up dividend raises and then dividend declarations as well. And of course, I'll be checking on these, the ones that paid in May, and then update their new pay date, and then reshuffle the deck, and they'll be in the August payers. And you can see SCHD, of course, I'll be putting in that new dividend once it announces for Q2. You can see my strategy here for the portfolio. I recommend you have a strategy for your portfolio, and you can see I'm doing $200 per week. I'm doing 2 buys. I'm doing one early in the week, and I let M1 do the picking, and this is of course the video where I do the picking. And right now I'm reinvesting those dividends right back into the company that paid them, and if a dividend is cut or suspended, that stock will be sold. And I'm a buy and hold investor, and here's some of the goals I have, like 1,200 shares of SCHD in this portfolio. I own many more shares in an IRA of SCHD. I want to get this portfolio to $250,000. We're pretty darn close, but anything can happen from June till December. It could go much lower, could go much higher, could be about the same. And I want to earn $1,000 a month. Average monthly dividends were off by about $95 on that. And then I want to get to $12,000 annual cash flow. And then this is outside the portfolio. I want a net worth of $1.75 million by the end of 2024. 2,000 shares of BST that put me at even $500 per month. So having walked through this now, we're going to see a change to my monthly cash flow average, as well as those positions where I bought additional fractional shares like Illinois Toolworks. We're going to put these numbers down here because these are going to change. And JP Morgan 692, and they're going to go up very modestly, just a few cents. Oracle, another one. Looks like I'm trying to get these before the ex-dividend date. And then 1202. And then last one was Starbucks. We'll put that 884 in there just to show you how even little fractional purchases of $20 a piece, we're going to see what the impact was on these individual shares or these stocks, as well as the cash flow, the monthly cash flow average, which is currently at 905.15. It's not going to move a whole lot, maybe 20-30 cents if we're lucky. And so we'll see what that effect is here in just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab data from M1, go to the holdings tab. And I know a lot of you guys, my listeners who or watchers who have been watching my videos for a long time, are very familiar with this, where I grab the data from M1, do a simple copy, and then I'm going to paste this into the M1 data tab. What it's going to do is it's going to update my average share price, number of shares, and cost basis for these 6 positions, these 5, as well as Qualcomm. We're going to see that change as well. It's going to change it over here. The next dividend for Qualcomm is going to be higher. Same with all these that I've put in. I just put these in to show you the difference, and that's going to change as well. So we'll go to the M1 data tab with that data. Do a paste special here, and it automatically just puts all those new number of shares, cost, basis, and average in there. It's pretty slick. Just everything in column A is going to go all the way down. It's over 1,000 lines, and then you can see where it lines up equals A13. It's pulling the number of shares from SCHD and the cost basis and then the average, and just copying it all the way down and just doing a VLOOKUP, and it's able to pull that data over here to the dividend portfolio with those VLOOKUPs, like I said. So we'll scroll up. We'll take a look at Qualcomm. So I was right, just added a couple cents. So $6.95 will be the next dividend. That's if I don't buy any more fractional shares of Qualcomm. We'll see. Maybe I do before approximately September 21st is when it's going to pay its next dividend. And we can see here with Illinois Toolworks, it's going to be $7.81. And then Cisco is going to be up to $12.19. And then Oracle added 6 cents. It's going to be up to $5.40. And then last but not least, Starbucks almost up to that $9 I'm going to receive at the end of August. We can see here almost added 20 cents, so 19 cents it added. So 905.15 was the old number, the monthly cash flow average. Now it's up to 905.34. We're going to take that 905.34 and we're going to put this over to the monthly average dividend tracking tab with this event. Scroll all the way down. And the reason I track this is pretty much to show progress. So, oh, my math is wrong. You have 21 cents there. It added from 905.13 to 905.34. So anytime there's like I do a dividend drip. So this would be Qualcomm and $100 deposit. So whenever I do a deposit, there's dividend drips, or here's the Caterpillar that added 20 cents to my monthly income with that 8% dividend increase. Oh, with their 0.2%, you can see it was only 3 cents per month is all it added. Then Exxon, you can see things like that, but I just track all this just to show progress of adding to my paycheck, my monthly average dividend here. And of course, you guys hear it over and over, SCHD lowered their dividend from Q4 2023 to Q1 2024, going from 74 cents to 61 cents. And that changed the monthly dividend income. It lowered it by $50, but it's been recovering. And then next week, when SCHD announces hopefully their higher dividend, it should recover this or get close to recovering all that. I'm thinking of actually taking like the average of 2023, the dividend for SCHD, and just putting that in there instead of changing it every quarter, like how it went down to 61 cents. Maybe just taking the average. We'll look at that real quick. There's the sum, but we'll do the average of that and putting maybe 66, 0.66475 and just leave it. And then once we get to, the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, so I can just put the average for 2024 when we start 2025, then I don't have to explain all these, changes with SCHD, quote, lowering their dividend there. So we'll go over the dividend tracker here. And I've been doing these videos since January 2021. You can see what the portfolio value was here. Steadily going up, and we're at $247,200. Running to the nearest $200. $216.91 are the dividends received so far. Let's see if I included Qualcomm in there. I did not. $223.84. We'll put that in there. So with SCHD, with them delaying that dividend now to July, it's going to lower my June dividends. I was counting on having higher dividends than December 2023, but that's not going to happen, it looks like, because it's going to now be pushed to July. So July is going to have an unusually high amount of dividends. So you can see here the dividends paid, and also tracking it by quarter. It has gone up and up and up, with of course the exception of SCHD, with that Q1 2024 dividend announced there, but we should recover. Q2 should be higher probably, than Q3 2023. We'll see if it gets higher than this. But we can see here's the average monthly dividend. We're up to 905.34, and we've increased that income by $3.35 just in the month of June, for a month-over-month gain of 0.37%. Annual dividends are now close to $11,000 again at $10,864, and I've added $40.20 to the annual dividends. Let's go $500 there. Then we'll close it out. Last tab here with total net worth. Here's my Vanguard accounts. I've got IRA, Roth, and taxable here. You can see these are just in boring ETFs. Total stock market indexes, a little bit of bonds in there, also some international as well. Same with the IRA. You can see VUVUG, VTSEX, VYM, VXUS. And then here's my current employer with the 401k, mostly into the S&P 500 fund here from Fidelity. And then M1, here's the IRA here from a prior employer. Invested in VU, VTI, SCHD, and BST. Here is the portfolio that I've been talking about. 247.3. Well, you can see it's been changing, going down a little bit. So you can see that's one line item. M1 got a little bit of savings over there. Synchrony, here's where my main emergency fund lies. On Capital One, checking savings, home value, and credit card balance. This, I don't carry a balance. This is just what I'm going to pay off here probably next week. And then here is my mortgage, and of course that's subtracted out of this value here. And then we get a total net worth of $1.64 million. Of course, this is constantly changing. You can see the breakdown of stocks to home equity to cash and bonds. And then you can see pre-tax. I keep mentioning this, but a lot of people have their most of their net worth is locked up in home equity or into pre-tax, and it's really hard to get to that to help you, with your wealth, or if you need to tap it. There's not much you can do. I suppose you could get a HELOC here, but you're pretty much assuming more debt. You're borrowing against your own, equity in the home. I don't like that idea at all. That's why I think you should have a lot of after-tax money in case something happens, or you want to retire early, something like that, or whatever it is. You want to take a sabbatical? Well, here you go. But a lot of people, like I said, they have 90-95% in that pre-tax, and you can't do a whole lot with it. You can see here I am primarily invested in U.S. with a very little international. Just some advice. Of course, it's not investment advice, but I'm older. I'm 51 years old. But if I had to start over again investing, I would be 100% stocks. Nothing else. I would be in S&P 500 and also some individual positions as well. I wouldn't even touch bonds. I wouldn't touch Bitcoin. I wouldn't touch rentals. I tried my hand at rentals. Didn't like it. It was not passive income whatsoever. It was a complete nightmare. I know some people have good luck with rentals. They call it passive income, but I think they failed to mention how much they're actually clearing. They'll say a house is cash flowing, let's say $500, but you got to roll in at least half that back into the house, if not that whole $500, just in upkeep, because once these landlords, they have an AC go out, a furnace, a roof, something like that, or they got to renovate. They're years then out of that quote cash flow. So you can see I'm not really into renting. The way I built my wealth is through just simple index fund investing. Of course, I do invest in the individual positions, but this is only about 15% of my current net worth. So, just doing kind of a dabbling. Of course, in this portfolio where I do have the individual positions, you can see here that an ETF is the major holding within it, with a closed-end fund, which you could, say is well diversified as well, even though it's doing covered calls for income. But just you could see I got lucky with an NVIDIA, things like that. But as long as you have an index, but SCHD doesn't have NVIDIA, if you have like a VTI, VTSAX, you're going to capture NVIDIA, and if it's VTI, you're going to capture all these companies within it anyway. So, but I like to do a little bit of stock picking because it's fun, and also the dividend percentage is higher, so I actually have to have less invested to get more income. So that's the reason why I do a little bit of individual stock picking. Plus, it keeps me engaged in it too. So So I like it. It's kind of a hobby for me. So anyway, thanks for sticking to the end of this video. We'll take a look at those buys real quick in case you missed them. Let's take a look at those 5 buys plus the drip. So Cisco, Illinois Toolworks, JP Morgan, Starbucks, and Oracle, and of course Qualcomm was that drip. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. If you got value from this video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. Everyone have a great weekend, and everybody take care.